G'day, it's Phil here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about the newest C Mint mark Australian coin that's come out from the Royal Australian Mint, the 50th anniversary of the end of the Australian involvement in the Vietnam War. It's a very, very nice coin. It's come out in April. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of a controversy around the coin itself at the moment. So let me talk a little bit about the coin. Now, I've got two coins here. I've told this story on my channel before on one of my noodle hunts, but I only was able to obtain one coin on the day of release. Unfortunately, the coin shop that I usually go to was closed. I had to go to a second coin shop and they had a limit of one per person. But someone has kindly also sent me a second coin, which I'm very, very grateful for. And so I've got two coins to have a look at today. So, as you're probably aware, the coins themselves are very hard to take photos of with lights because they're shiny. So I'll do the best that I can. We've got the Vietnam War in the legend, $2 and then a C. And I will, after the S on the $2, there's a little C. That C stands for Canberra because it was minted in Canberra. It's on a card from the Royal Australian Mint. On the obverse of the coin we have the memorial effigy of Queen Elizabeth II showing her reign years from 1952 to 2022. It's a 2023 coin. It's got the Jodie Clark effigy on it, and then it's got a spiel in relation to the coin itself. I won't read it out because it has it's pretty self-evident. You can find that on the internet pretty much everywhere. Got the coin specifications down here. It's a great coin. It looks fantastic. We've got a series of coloured coins, and this one is particularly nice. It pops quite well. There was two coins minted. The aluminium brass $2 coin, which is the normal gold type material that our $2 coins are made of. That's why we call them gold coins, but it's not any precious metal. It's aluminium brass. And then there was a silver issue minted as well. There was 80,000 of these coins minted, and that's on the reverse of this card, a mintage of 80,000, and then there was 5,000 silver coins minted as well. So I wanted to go through the coins itself. They're very, very, very nice looking coins, but there is a bit of a controversy, possibly an international controversy, but there is a controversy going on at the moment. I'll read from an article that is out on the internet and probably in the news as well. As at the 5th of May 2023, there's an international controversy after the Deputy Foreign Minister of Vietnam made a statement declaring that the use of the previous Vietnam government's flag on Australia's newest commemorative coin was completely inappropriate and not in the best interests of the current Australia-Vietnam relations. Now, I look at the coin and I find it to be very beautiful. The colour on the coin has meaning to me, and it probably won't have a lot of meaning to anyone else, and probably one of the reasons why the Vietnam government or the foreign minister has made a statement in relation to that is because they don't really understand what the significance behind the colour that is on the coin is. And there is significance behind it. Pretty much all of the stuff that we do in relation to our Royal Australian Mint, or most of our coins, has some sort of significance in it. And it means a little bit to me, and I can explain a bit about it. And I've also got some photos that I can show that relates to it. In relation to the actual 50th anniversary of the end of the Australian involvement in the Vietnam War, it's to be celebrated this year. The government and the Defence Force, the Veterans Association, have been planning this for some while. On the 29th of March, which was before the coin was released, the Australian government commented that this year marks the 50th anniversary of the end of Australia's involvement in the Vietnam War. And similar to what's on the back, some 60,000 Australians served in the Vietnam War, with more than 3,000 who were wounded, and 523 tragically lost their lives. The government went on to say we must honour those who served and the families that supported them. So what is it about the coin that's for one, is angering the Vietnamese, and what do the colours on the coin mean? So I've used some images of coin and military medals and sourced them from the internet. I want to talk about the colours themselves. Now, if you know about any militaria, you'll know that they are colours of ribbons, awards, medals. And I'll show a photo here of what they look like, both what medals look like. If you don't know that, if you're an Australian and you know about Anzac Day, you will know that our veterans march pretty much once a year. If you've seen any news of foreign countries and their military parades, most of the time you'll see soldiers or officers wearing medals of some kind. And so there is three different ribbons represented on this coin, and I'll put up a graphic that shows what those three are as I talk through them. We've got the Vietnam Medal, which was awarded for service in Vietnam between May 1964 and January 1973, when the Australian Defence Force had personnel in Vietnam. We also have the Vietnam Logistic and Support Medal, which was to recognise those who had served in Vietnam during the time of the Vietnam War for relatively short periods of time in support of Australian operations, who had not received any recognition for their service. So we've got the Vietnam Medal, which was awarded during the conflict, and we have the Vietnam Logistics and Support Medal, which was commissioned well after the fact for those that served for short periods of time but were not recognised. And then the third one, and sometimes some people might think the most important, is the bottom ribbon, which is the anniversary of national service, and that was to recognise the people who completed their obligation under the two national service schemes that Australia had in those periods, from 1951 to 1972, two periods of national service, which was basically conscription in Australia, which we don't have now, and we haven't had since then. And so those ribbons, and I'll show another photo again of what a ribbon looks like when a soldier wears it on his uniform, on his dress uniform, usually on his day-to-day dress uniform, not for parades when they wear medals. And so that has meaning to people who have served, to people who have lost loved ones who have served, and to people that are associated with the military in Australia. And so the problem that the Vietnam government has is in relation to using their flag, the old Vietnamese flag, or the flag of South Vietnam before the unification of Vietnam at the conclusion of hostilities in that field. And so the flag of Vietnam is now the country flag, is the flag that was the North Vietnamese flag, red flag with a gold star in the centre of it. And the previous flag no longer used. So I don't really have a problem with that they have the right to say what they want with their flags, but there are other examples of flags that have changed when governments have changed in other countries. A much older example is the multiple flags of the Confederate States of America before the American Civil War. More recently, we've got the Soviet-era flag, which changed in 1991 from the hammer and sickle on the red background to the Russian Federation. And also, around the same time, Germany and East Germany had different flags, and in 1990 they become one flag, the flag of Germany. And as well as a change in regime in South Africa in 1994, when the flag that had been around since the 40s changed to the current South African flag. So generally, when a regime change happens, the previous flag is changed because of some ideological difference, and it can be used to hark back to more nostalgic or different ideological times. Unfortunately, in relation to this flag, the medal, the Vietnam medal, was warranted in June 1968. So Queen Elizabeth II warranted the Australian Defence Force to be able to issue medals for Vietnam service, because people at that time had been serving Vietnam since 1964, and that was the current flag that represented the country when that medal, when that ribbon colour was chosen. So there's no, and it's been around for a long time, there's no disrespect in relation to Vietnam at the moment. I'm assume medals and awards don't change. Once they're set at the time that they were awarded. So there may be controversy. I know that at the moment I've got a bit of skin in the game. I've got friends who are Vietnamese. My cousin is married to a Vietnamese lady. I've been to Vietnam. I've got skin in the game in relation to the military. I've served in the Australian Army. I have an idea of what goes on around here. I know that currently the Vietnamese community, certainly in Melbourne, in Australia, is taking the article that is in the news pretty seriously. I've put a link in the description below to the Vietnam Express, an international newspaper from Vietnam. And so you can read that either in English, and I'm sure there's other articles in Vietnamese. The Vietnamese community love in Australia, certainly in Melbourne, from my understanding, they enjoy this coin. They like to see their old flag put somewhere. The coin itself has significantly increased in value. The market, a little bit crazy. I won't really go into that, but the silver proof coin is selling at well over a premium of issue at $80. This carded coin was issued at $15, and it is selling at a premium currently. But that's about it. It's a great looking coin. It's a great card, well in tune with the series of coloured $2 coins that the Royal Australian Mint has been putting out over the last, what would be close now to 10 years. I'm happy to have two. I'm thankful for the one that I was given. But that's my review and the current situation in relation to the commentary around the colours on the coin. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what I do have other coin reviews. I also noodle through coins as well to find coins with more than face value. If you feel keen, please join me. But otherwise, I'll be back with more videos soon, so I'll see you then. Bye.